America in 2035, a nation unraveled without action. If we don't act now, if we let the currents of 2025, fake ICE agents, eroded checks and balances, and a rising tide of authoritarianism carry us forward unchecked, the United States in 2035 will be a shadow of its former self. This isn't a dystopian fantasy. It's the logical endpoint of the trends we see today, painted in stark, gut-wrenching detail to shake you awake. Picture your town, your family, your life transformed into a nightmare where fear rules, freedom is a memory, and the America you love is gone. This is what happens if we do nothing. The streets, vigilante rule, and constant fear. It's June 1st, 2035, and your neighborhood is unrecognizable. Armed vigilantes, dressed in tactical gear bought for $20 on Temu, patrol the streets, calling themselves patriots. They don't show badges or warrants, just rifles and masks. These aren't federal agents. They're white power nationalists and Proud Boys wannabes, emboldened by a decade of Trump's rhetoric and unchecked by a gutted Justice Department. They knock on doors at 3 a.m., demanding papers from anyone who looks foreign. Yet in South Park, California, where raids began in 2025, entire blocks are now ghost towns, abandoned after families were dragged away, some to detention camps, others to planes bound for countries they've never known. Your neighbor, a U.S.-born Latino father of 3, was taken last week because he didn't look American enough. And his kids, your daughter's classmates, huddle in a church basement, terrified to go to school. Schools are half empty anyway. Attendance has plummeted 30% nationwide since ICE and its imposters started targeting sensitive locations like classrooms and hospitals. Your cousin, a nurse, tells you about a 10-year-old with leukemia who was detained on her way to chemo, her medical records ignored by agents who called her parents illegals. These vigilantes don't care about citizenship. If you've got a spouse from Mexico, a friend who's Muslim, or a kid who's openly gay, they're targets, and you're next. Every trip to the grocery store feels like walking through a checkpoint in a war zone. You keep your head down, praying your last name doesn't sound too ethnic to the wrong ears. The government, a dynasty above the law. The White House isn't a symbol of democracy anymore. It's a fortress for the Trump dynasty. By 2035, Donald Trump's influence lingers, whether he's still in office or has passed the torch to a family member or loyalist like J.D. Vance. The Constitution, weakened by executive orders in 2025 that stripped judicial oversight, is a relic. Courts have been neutered, packed with judges who rubber-stamp deportations and detentions. Congress, filled with loyalists, hasn't passed a meaningful law in years. The FBI and DOJ answer directly to the president's inner circle, targeting dissenters. Journalists, activists, even you if you post the wrong thing on X. Laws passed in the late 2020s allow suspected non-citizens to be shipped to offshore prisons, think Guantanamo, but in places like Honduras or Kazakhstan, over 2 million people, including US. Citizens have been detained without trial based on flimsy accusations or anonymous tips. Your coworker, a naturalized citizen from Nigeria, vanished after a routine check at a gas station. Her kids don't know where she is. The government claims it's security, but you know better. It's control. Propaganda blares from every screen. Trump's face on billboards, his slogans on school buses, his family hailed as America's saviors. Ex-posts from 2035 compare him to a god, and dissenters are doxxed or arrested. Your kids are taught to salute a flag with a golden T embroidered on it. The economy, a playground for the elite. Your wallet's empty and it's no accident. The economy is a wreck for everyone but the billionaire class. Grocery prices have doubled since 2025, with a loaf of bread costing $10 and gas hitting $8 a gallon. The $8 billion ICE budget from 2025 has tripled, with private prison companies like GEO Group and CoreCivic pocketing billions for detention camps and deportation flights, $1 million per plane, sometimes carrying just a dozen people. Your taxes fund this, while schools crumble and hospitals turn away the uninsured. The middle class is gone. You're either rich or scraping by. Your brother lost his construction job when 11 million immigrants were deported, collapsing industries that relied on their labor. Now he's delivering food for a tech giant owned by one of Trump's billionaire buddies, earning $12 an hour with no benefits. The elite, Musk, Thiel, and others, live in gated enclaves, untouchable. They've bought up farmland, water rights, and entire towns, while you ration water because deregulation let corporations pollute the rivers. International trade has collapsed. Sanctions from the EU and Canada, sparked by human rights abuses, have cut off exports. Your cousin's small business folded when tariffs jacked up costs. Meanwhile, the stock market soars for the 1%, and Trump's Mar-a-Lago is a pilgrimage site for the loyal, who pay thousands to glimpse the dear leader. Society, a nation divided and afraid. Your community is a tinderbox. White Christian nationalism, once a fringe, is the law of the land in red states. Non-Christians, LGBTQ folks, and people of color live in hiding or flee to blue state enclaves, but even those are shrinking as federal power overrides local laws. Your gay nephew hasn't been seen since a re-education camp opened in Texas. Your sister, married to a man from Guatemala, keeps her kids indoors after a neighbor reported them to a vigilante hotline. Churches that once preached love now host patriot rallies where pastors bless militias and call for cleansing the nation. The Proud Boys, now a quasi-official force, march openly, their numbers swollen to 50,000 nationwide. You don't trust anyone. Half your friends stopped talking politics after one was fired for criticizing Trump online. The other half whisper about resistance but are too scared to act. X is a surveillance tool now, with algorithms flagging disloyal posts for federal review. You deleted your account after a coworker was arrested for liking a subversive tweet. Your kids come home reciting loyalty oaths from school, and you wonder if they'd turn you in for questioning the regime. Families are broken. Some join the vigilantes, others flee to Canada, which now has a border wall to keep Americans out. The world stage, a pariah nation. America is alone. Allies like the EU and Japan cut ties after the US withdrew from NATO and the UN in 2027. Sanctions have crippled trade, and the dollar is no longer the world's reserve currency. China and Russia fill the void, mocking America's decline while offering aid in exchange for military bases on US soil. Your town's factory closed when foreign investors pulled out, and now Russian advisors patrol nearby ports. The world sees America as a rogue state, its human rights abuses, offshore prisons, mass detentions compared to North Korea. Your passport is useless. No country wants Americans crossing their borders. The personal toll, your life in 2035. You wake up every day scared. Your wife, whose parents immigrated from India, carries forged papers to avoid suspicion. Your son, born in Ohio, was questioned at school because his skin's too dark. You've sold your car to pay for groceries, and your daughter's asthma meds cost half your paycheck. The hospital turned her away last month. Priority goes to loyal citizens. You avoid neighbors, unsure who's reporting to the vigilantes. At night, you hear screams from a nearby detention center built where the community park used to be. You tell your kids it's just construction, but they know better. You voted for Trump in 2024 hoping for strength and prosperity. Now you see the truth. He didn't drain the swamp. He turned it into a cesspool. His lies, 34 fraud convictions, sexual abuse liability, election interference indictments, were just the start. His policies hurt you. Your taxes fund his cronies. Your freedom's gone. Your kid's future is a coin toss between poverty and prison, and the vigilantes? They don't care about your Make America Great Again hat. If you step out of line, you're just another target, the final warning. This is America in 2035 if we do nothing. It's not a movie, it's your life, your family, your home. The fake ICE agents, the offshore prisons, the propaganda, they're already here, growing like cancer. In 2025, ICE raids in South Park tore families apart. By 2035, they'll tear the nation apart. Your silence, your apathy, your fear, they're the fuel. The $8 billion spent on raids today will be $24 billion by then, bankrupting your future while billionaires laugh. Your kids will salute a dictator, not a flag. Your faith, your values, your America, they'll be ashes. This isn't inevitable, but it's close. History shows what happens when good people stay silent. Germany in the 1930s, Chile in the 1970s. We're on that path. Your grandkids will ask why you didn't fight. Don't let this be your legacy. Stand Up, Scream, Resist before the masks and guns come for you by Scott Young, aka Sinfamous Gamer.